cement their front-runner status in their respective bids to replace President Barack Obama in the White House. Our U.S. correspondent, Sherwin Bryce, Pease, looks at the state of the race and what could shift the balance or shut the door on this year's presidential ambitions.
Whether his party fully supports him or not, Donald Trump is racking up the victories and gloating in the air of being what his supporters call the Republican presumptive nominee by taking aim at his likely general election opponent.
Hillary Clinton cannot do the job, number one. Number two, she shouldn't be allowed to do the job because what she did was a criminal act. She shouldn't be allowed to run.
And with an equally strong showing from the Democratic frontrunner, the current trajectory points to a Clinton v. Trump matchup in November.
Instead of building walls, we're going to break down barriers and build ladders of opportunity and empowerment so every American can live up to his or her potential, because then and only then can America live up to its full potential too.
This political analyst believes Clinton is on track for her party's historic nomination.
The big takeaway is that Hillary Clinton, with her 7-state sweep, particularly in the Deep South, but also the fact that she was able to capture Massachusetts as well, is really poised now to be the Democratic nominee, barring some kind of catastrophic collapse in her campaign or something unexpected.
The delegate count post-Super Tuesday places Hillary Clinton in a commanding lead over Bernie Sanders. While she has won the most number of delegates through the state-by-state polls, she has a healthy majority of superdelegates or party officials who are backing her as well. On the Republican side, superdelegates cannot choose the candidate they prefer but must vote for the one that wins their state. And with 10 wins under his belt, Donald Trump leads the normal delegate count over his nearest rival, Ted Cruz, as well.
Bernie Sanders, I would say at this point you're hard-pressed to find a path forward for him numerically. Very much on the other side, like a Marco Rubio, he is very much fighting the math at this point.
And with Donald Trump looking more and more like the man to lead the GOP into the general election, he's begun to shift his tone in the hopes of unifying the party behind him.
We also saw Trump's coalition come together last night in a way we haven't before, and it is an impressive coalition because he not only won the South like Hillary Clinton did, South Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, he also got the Northeast, he got New Hampshire, he got Massachusetts. And so what we're seeing there is a revitalization of what we used to call the Reagan coalition.
Making the establishment Republicans very nervous.
I think the question everybody's asking is, how do you stop a Donald Trump if that's the goal of the establishment? One path that people have talked about is everybody else has got to win their home state. So Ted Cruz did that last night. If Kasich wins Ohio, if Rubio wins Florida, those are big states. And now, because it's going to be winner take all, you could essentially mathematically, and I would say theoretically, because it's not at all clear, but make sure that Trump doesn't have the delegates he needs going into the conventions.
The other option, if 2 of the 3 candidates running against Trump drop out and give their backing to a single challenger in this race.
Dr. Ben Carson on the Republican side is expected to announce to his supporters later this week that he sees no path forward to the nomination, and that's good news for his competitors who will hope to pick up his supporters. On the Democratic side, Bernie Sanders is going nowhere, and that's not necessarily bad news for Hillary Clinton. If he were to drop out too soon from this race, she runs the risk of having the media narrative shift completely to the GOP race. And that's not necessarily good news if she's not spoken about until the beginning of the general election. Sherwin Bryce, SABC News, New York.